All right, we're here with Logan O'Connor. First of all, Logan, thank you for joining us on Halloween. Any fun Halloween plans this year?
No, probably just going to hang out and hand out some candy to kids coming by.
There we go. That's always the good stuff. Don't eat too much of it yourself.
No, none for me. No.
I will eat a lot of mine. I'm not going to lie. I'm sure you've been warned, but we have a bad food take question for everybody we ask on the show. I want to do a Halloween theme one. I'm curious if there's any weird Halloween candies that you're a fan of.
Ooh, weird Halloween candies. Not that come to mind. I'm not a fan of candy corn. I'll say that much.
That makes me a fan of you, right?
Yeah, there you go. Weird ones? Not really. I'm simple. Just anything chocolate, sweet, sour, whatever.
All right. Nothing too fancy. Anything specific you like to snack on every day?
Every day?
Yeah, regularly. I'm not going to say every day.
I mean, I like cookies and cream, Hershey bars.
There we go.
Definitely not every day, but that's probably my go-to.
Plus, you get some Canadian. Canadian candy's better.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
that.
Here we go.
Aero bar, Mars bar, Score. Yeah.
Woo. All right. Got to go to Canada for the good stuff.
Yes.
I get it. Gotta ask, you have 3 shorthanded goals this year. Ever since you turned pro, you did it down with the Eagles a ton too. What's the secret sauce to the shorty magic?
I think it's just trying to time it. I mean, obviously on the penalty kill, you're there to kill the penalty. But if the power play's sleeping at any moment, I think my speed and stick can maybe take advantage of that and catch power play units off guard, especially nowadays. Most units have 4 forwards on it. So defending on a power play is obviously not what you think about. And it's just, you want to be cautious, though. Again, you're there to kill the penalty, but if you can find a time and place where they're maybe sleeping a little bit, can take advantage of it.
I've talked to you about leadership in the room before, and I was curious looking at someone like McKinnon, who by his own admission isn't so much a vocal leader, but by example, looking at the Buffalo game and the game misconduct, he's obviously showing a little bit of advocacy there. How would you describe him as a leader? Like, has his approach to leadership evolved in your time knowing him?
Absolutely. I think his leadership role is all based off of his passion for the game. His passion to get better, to push everyone to get better. When you see Nathan McKinnon out there after practice shooting pucks for a half hour, it pushes everyone else to do the same. He's one of the best players in the world, and seeing him and his work ethic out there and his lead by example role is definitely something that we all look up to, and just trying to get the most out of everyone at any given moment. And his competitiveness is huge. He, whatever the game is, practice, games, he wants to be the best at it, and I think that brings us all along with him.
I'll give you some praises here, but not because you're part Canadian, but you know what I'm saying. Well, actually, full Canadian.
Born in Texas.
Born in Texas. That's right. That's what I'm saying. But I know your dad.
Grew up in Canada.
Exactly,
Pretty far from Canada.
I consider myself Canadian, as hard as that may be.
There you go. That's what I mean. That's
to make
what
sense
I mean.
of. Yeah.
So I'll give you praises for that. Not for that, but working in management over the years, I wish. That's why I'm saying I'm giving you praises here. I wish people were like you when it comes to the identity of your game. I know you. We've talked about this before in a weird situation a couple years back, right? And it's the fact that you know what you are and you're delivering it every night. And I wish young kids out there would follow your path a little bit and try to say hey, and it's not saying that you don't think you're good. You know you're good. You're just not Nathan McKinnon. You're just different than Nathan McKinnon. I don't know if it's a question, but I'm trying to say it's a weird question.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Other than avoiding eating candy, what's the key to that consistency?
I think for me, a big part of it is a lot of kids nowadays, when they're drafted or whatnot, they are the best players on their team, and they get to the NHL, and you're not going to be the best player on this team probably because we have Nathan, Mikko, Kale, whoever it may be. You're going to be put in a different role that you're maybe not used to. Whereas my role has always sort of been bottom 6 guy, and I take a lot of pride in that. I think it's the details day in and day out. You can't really slack off on it, and it's not the most glamorous role. I have a lot of fun doing it. I enjoy doing it. Every team needs guys to fill that type of hole, and it's just sort of embracing that day in and day out with the consistency aspect. It starts with the work ethic, starts in practice, details, and just being really focused with the structure and playing to my identity as a player.
And I know that was exactly, I was trying to formulate that. And you saved me that. And that was the answer I was looking for. But for people that are listening, people that don't know, where did you learn that a little bit? Because I know it came a lot from your dad as a lot of people don't know your dad played pro hockey.
Yeah, for sure. My dad had a cup of coffee in the NHL. I think just being around him and the messages he would send to me, all growing up, he coached me a lot. I owe him, basically everything, him and my mom, and him being in the rink all the time, watching my game evolve. And it always started with skating for me. He said, if you can't skate, you can't play. And I think that's something that I've really taken throughout my career and tried to separate myself from other players. And then going through, as things get tougher and tougher the older you get, once you get to junior hockey, there's a big gap from midget, and then college is a whole different animal. And then pro hockey, it's sort of bloodshed, and you're trying to take food off other guys' tables at that point, which, it's a little bit more stressful, but a totally different animal. And I think just learning the steps along the way, evolving with the competition, trying to find a niche that separates me from other players is probably the biggest thing, though. At this level, everyone's so good. The margin of difference is so small that I think just finding, little things within my game to help me separate and make me better than the next guy I'm competing against.
And that's the answer I'm looking for, in a sense that I wish every prospect and every team would hear something like this, and again, that's why I'm saying I'm praising it, which I am. I don't want you to blush, but it's so important. I mean, it is important. So that was my question, and that's a great answer.
Building off it, looking at a day like today, it's kind of a two-pronged question, but obviously you're short some defensemen, so you can't really have a standard practice. You get to have a little bit of fun out there. The first part of the question is that significant right now to keep morale up, to have a little bit of fun in practice?
Absolutely. I think, within a season, things are going to be up and down. And, you have to come to practice with a smile on your face and with purpose, I think, is probably the biggest thing. You can't just go through the motions. That is where you get better, and you watch video and you try and correct things. And obviously today we couldn't do so much structure just with the numbers, but I still think your habits and details are critical and day in and day out, and just the practice, having a little game at the end is good for morale and just keep guys excited and having fun out there.
Because the second part kind of speaks to you describing purpose there. Even though you are having fun out there, you throw on a black jersey. Are you playing D for parts of those drills? Is that what that was?
Yeah, the last drill we just had an uneven amount of guys, so Bedsy just said throw on a black jersey, so I went with the defenseman there for the last drill.
Because today it was teased, too, that there might be something of a promotion coming to that third line, just potentially getting at least elevated to play alongside Wood and Colton. I'm curious then, even when you're out there having fun, is there a consciousness of how serious this also is, what you want to show to coaching staff in that moment, too, seizing that opportunity in hopes of getting a promotion like that to play on the third line?
Absolutely. I think, every day you just have to take it as it comes and control what you can control, and that's ultimately your work ethic and your competitiveness. The execution side of thing isn't always there, but just trying to focus on that day in and day out to continually evolve that side of my game, evolve offensively, and then I know my defensive side will be there, my speed will be there, but it's just making little adjustments within my game to try and become a more complete player and fit that role hopefully better.
A couple years ago now, but you signed a relatively long-term contract for a bottom six guy in Colorado. Sure, a Stanley Cup helps you know you made the right decision there, but what about Colorado was it that made you want to stay?
I've been fortunate to go to DU. Denver's sort of become my second home. My fiance, she's from here, but I think ultimately it comes down to the team really and the organization. It starts at the top with Joe, stems through Bedsy, the coaching staff, and then the players here. Everyone's great people around the organization. That's the biggest thing. It makes it fun coming to the rink. And then, like you mentioned, the opportunity to be in the mix every year with a cup contending team is, probably the biggest thing, and just makes everything more enjoyable.
Being inside the room after that Carolina game, I think it was your fifth straight win, there was still a tinge of dissatisfaction, like the details weren't quite there, just among the room, not even just you specifically. And I was curious with this group, because we've talked a lot about culture and a standard for winning, how do you evaluate wins and successes throughout the year?
Yeah, I mean, it's a result-oriented business, but at the end of the day, we have to like the process that gets us to that result. I think our start, statistically was great. I do feel as though there was a lot, after 6 games, there was a lot that we could get better at. And then after 8, now obviously 2 losses, there's more to get better at. And I think we haven't been satisfied with our game, and I think that's what, makes us the team we are. And we want to be great. We don't want to be average. If we win, it's awesome, but we want to do it the right way. And then eventually, as things tighten up throughout the year, those wins are going to become more important, and our structure will just follow that, and we'll start stacking them up more.
I got one funny question here. Like, I really enjoy watching you play. You're the top of my list, like top 3, 4, you know. But that answer is going to tell me if you're going towards the top there. Like pregame meal, I didn't skip pregame meals. I loved it. Are you a chicken guy, salmon, or steak guy?
I'm a chicken guy, and I mock pregame meal.
There you go.
I eat a lot.
He's going towards the top. You're going towards number 1 right now. You're going towards number 1. That's good.
Is your mom coming on the Vegas trip this weekend?
She is, yeah. She got in this morning, so I'll see her when I'm back, and she's really excited. Just being along for my whole career, this is sort of, you know, a pretty cool moment for us together to spend it, you know, tonight across the weekend. So she's really looking forward to it and just spending a day in the life with me and the other guys and moms on the team.
Did you do anything differently this summer to perfect your finishing touch? It just seems like, especially with the shorthanded goals on the discussion of it, it seems like something that was really dialed in coming into this year.
Not necessarily. I think just, you know, shooting the puck more is always a big thing. You shoot 10 more pucks, one's hopefully going to go in there, and the more you shoot, the better opportunities you're going to get. And I think in practice, just trying to hit the net more, putting more emphasis on that. If you miss on your opportunities, you know, that's always unfortunate. So just trying to dial that side of my game in and trust my shot ultimately.
You get a ton of breakaways every year. I'm curious if you have a secret shootout move in the bag somewhere.
No, this year I've just been blacking out and see what happens. So. No secret move.
I love that.
Was it the San Jose game that was a shootout and Mikko won it and we didn't get to see who the next shooter was?
Do you
know who it was?
Who went 1-2?
Mikko and Mac, I think. Well,
Mac
and
Mikko.
Yeah.
I actually don't know who was 3.
I was so curious. Do you watch the shootout too, or do you not watch it?
I watch the shootout. Yeah.
Okay.
I think Bedsy's the only one that does.
You guys return home tomorrow, division points on the line. What do you guys need to do to get things right?
Just get back on track, play to our game, our identity. That ultimately comes down to team speed, good in the defensive zone, good in the breakouts. And if we do those things defensively, our offensive game will slowly come. I think we can shoot the puck more, get more traffic, get more involved in the net front. Last couple of games obviously shut out, and maybe making it a little too easy on the goaltending, seeing the pucks come through. So those are definitely the things we're going to focus on.
Awesome.
All right. Logan, I want to thank you for coming on. Again, we really appreciate your time. Everybody who comes on, we give a T-shirt too. So we gave you your pick of the litter of 4 you can take there.
Bring one for Mom. Bring one
for Mom.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you again. That was LOC, everybody. We will be right back with the next segment.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.